Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Blake316 here with a new video for you guys. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Xbox 360 controller in the year 2020. Now, a lot of people arguably say that this is one of the best video game controllers of all time. And you know what? I actually used to say it. Until I'll probably say a month ago, I would say that this controller was in the top 3 controllers of my all-time faves, along with the Nintendo GameCube and Nintendo GameCube. I would say the DualShock 4 PlayStation 4 controller, and I might throw, I don't know, the Dreamcast in there, and then the Xbox One. So maybe I gave you 4, right? But this was definitely in the discussion for top 3. Now, I recently been playing my Xbox 360, which means I recently been using this controller, and going from the Xbox One controller back to this controller, let me tell you, there are definitely some huge differences. And it kind of makes me realize that I'm kind of looking forward to the Xbox Series X controller because it's very similar to the Xbox One controller, but with some, what I'm assuming is some improvements, right? Now, let me talk about this Xbox 360 controller and how it might not be as good as a lot of people remember, especially using the Xbox One controller. For example, now that I hold this controller, it's a little bit too small. If you look at the Xbox One controller, it's slightly bigger, right? And I think that slight adjustment in size gives it an overall better feel in the hands. Another thing realizing with playing this Xbox 360 controller, the buttons. The triggers are really tight. The analog sticks are really tight. The buttons don't give you much feedback. And then by playing this and going to the Xbox One controller, I realized the huge adjustments with the trigger. And granted, these bumper buttons are terrible. The bumper buttons are still better. But even the buttons, they have like sensitivity to them. I feel like I'm pressing a button. Where the Xbox 360 controller, I don't know. It really doesn't feel the same. And this is coming from a gamer who knows what he's talking about, right? Now, another thing, being that it's slightly smaller, I feel like this part, this little indentation is kind of annoying. It's not the same and it kind of sucks. And I'm bringing this up because the Xbox 360 controller really has not aged well in comparison to, like I said, the Nintendo GameCube controller, which to this day is still a really good controller. It aged really well. The GameCube controller, if you put the VMU, add a little weight to it, it's still a really good controller. The Super NES controller, still a really good controller. Granted, is this controller terrible? No, but everyone, including myself, has always had huge high standards for this controller. And man, it just has not aged well. Like music, you see music over here? Some music ages really good. You can listen to 90s hip hop in 2020 and it sounds better than the trash that's out today. This 360 controller, I don't know. It's not like, it's still good, but it's not in the top 3 anymore. I think I finally like the Xbox One. I appreciate it for what it is. It's a really good controller. And if I had to choose, I think I'm gonna go with this Xbox 360, Xbox One controller. The size are better, the analog, the buttons are better. It's a bigger controller, better D-pad. Obviously, this is arguably one of the worst D-pads of all time, right? But yeah, using the Xbox 360 controller in 2020, obviously it's still playable. It's still better than the PlayStation 3 controller, DualShock 2, PlayStation 1, Jaguar. What's a bunch of other controllers? The original Xbox. The Nintendo, the Switch Joy-Cons, the Wii Remote, it's still better than all that. But man, it's not as good as it used to be, right? But that's natural, right? That's normal. Things get better over time. Well, not everything, but you know, it's supposed to. And this controller still doesn't give me the same feels that it used to. And I can finally say that the Xbox One controller, it's better than the Xbox 360 controller. And it's still a top 5 controller, but it's not like 1 or 2 like on a lot of people's list. And it's pretty interesting. And you might be wondering, well, Blake, why are you even playing your Xbox 360? A lot of games are backwards compatible. Because I like to play them in the original form. I like to play exactly how it's supposed to be played, whether on the original console or original controller. I've never been a huge fan of buying third-party controllers. I want to play the games how the creators and developers developed and created it for it to be played. But yeah. And this is something, if you don't believe me, go try it out yourself. If you got your Xbox 360 controller, put it in your hands. See how it feels compared to an Xbox One controller, you know? Granted, I could have pulled out an Elite controller. No, this is your standard Xbox One controller. There's a huge difference in quality and how it feels in your hands and buttons. It's really interesting. It's not something I definitely did not notice. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it to people's attention. Is the Xbox 360 still as great as a controller in 2020 for you? Because it's definitely not for me. But anyway, it's me, Blake316, just doing a quick video. Controller hype because the new consoles are coming out. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, obviously new consoles, new controllers. So anyway, it's me, Blake316. Make sure to like this video, please. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. A lot of people, let me know if this is in your, where does this rank in your top controllers of all time? Is it in your top 3? Is it in your top 5? Definitely has to be in your top 10 unless you're just a Microsoft hater, right? But anyway, until next time.